All right, so I'm standing on the front porch of our newest project. This is going to be a renovation. It's going to be a complete gut. We're going to take all the walls, all the ceiling out of it. I think we're going to replace the floor as well. We're going to redo the wiring, removing all the plumbing. I mean, basically it's going to be a new house on the inside. And on the outside, we're going to go ahead and just like completely repaint it. We're taking it back to the original wood, getting it smooth, and we're going to start over from there. We're going to, I mean, it's a complete remodel, completely different than what we're used to doing. We normally build custom homes. All right, so the home is located on Albert Street. It's like a historic street. It's got all brick still on the entire street from end to end. And there's a lot more homes of the same era around it. These all look like Craftsman. And we have our home right here. So it's gonna get completely, we're gonna retuck all the brick. It's gonna get repainted. We're gonna go, I'll move in closer and get some more details, but this is just the outer view of what we're dealing with here. It's a normal size lot, decent size little setback from the street, but from here to your fence though, it's pretty insane. You know, you got like 3 feet. That's pretty cool. And then we got the side. This side has a lot more wear and tear. We got all these trees right here. All these trees are causing a lot of patina on this side of the home. It aged a lot more than obviously actually the front side's aged a lot as well, because of the fact that you have the afternoon sun beaming straight on the front of this house. So it really messed up a lot of the brick. So a lot of that has to get repointed because the sun just beat it up. This side, the sun didn't beat this side up, just the mildew and like just basically all the vegetation, and just, you know how it is, like when it rains, it just this side of the house just aged a lot more. Basically, even though it is from 1929, the whole house is aged, but this one definitely aged more on this side. The sidewalk seems to be in pretty good shape. I don't see anything wrong with the sidewalk. Same with the vegetation, the grass easement curve in between the sidewalk. It seems to be in good shape. Let's see, the curb's in good shape. The curb's kind of thick though. This is a lot more thicker curb than what we're used to dealing with in the new subdivisions. But the water seems like it kind of drains out here. I don't know, you can see, like, you see a lot of this haze right here, how that all has a haze all the way from basically the whole side. From the corner there's a haze all the way to basically that corner. So I'm assuming the water kind of sits here. It looks like there's a little bowl right here, kind of puddles up, but it's still able to flow all the way out, looks like, to that street and turns. This side though doesn't have any drainage. When I look on this side over here though, you have you got some drain pipes that are going to be draining out into the city waterways, to the ditches and, you know, all that stuff. So I'm assuming that one of those streets have that as well whenever this flows out that way. It's extremely interesting though. All right, so you can see here I found 2 more. This one's actually being used. Let's see, let's get a better look into it. I can't really tell. It looks like it has a flow to it, but the pipe does kind of look like it's tilted back towards the street a little bit. But I mean, who knows when these streets were built. And there's another one right here, right across the way, and we're directly across the driveway from the home. So, but you got such a crown on the street that the watershed, you're still going to have a lot of watershed on that side that's not going to drain out all the way. That's going to have to go. So basically you really want a house on this side if you're worried about water. But look, it's backed up too though. You can see the water gets deep over here. Like, look at the water line. You can see the line here, and you can see the line out to here. So, you know, that's like 6 inches. So this street gets pretty full in a hard downpour. I'd like to see that. And yeah, I bet it gets really deep on this side and on that side. Super interesting. So the homeowners are going to keep this fence. We're going to try to keep it up the best we can during construction. Their plan is to grow some kind of vegetation on it, hide the fence. They're going to completely re-landscape this when we're done, but we got to keep this fence intact while we demo this house. And then another problem we're going to have is this driveway. It's not near wide enough to put a dumpster in. Look, my truck barely fits in it. So they are going to take these curves off of the driveway, but I'm still not sure if I'm going to be able to plant a dumpster in here and get this house completely gutted, stuck in this dumpster and rolled out of here, and also not cause any harm to these giant curbs. I don't want to have to, but we might have to stick a dumpster right here in front of the home and then just kind of pack everything out. But what I'm worried about out here is that we're in the central city right here in the Garden District, that everybody who drives by here is going to think this dumpster is free to dump in, and it's not. And a lot of times what will happen is a lot of people in, I wouldn't say in this neighborhood, or just in this area, or just basically anybody who drives by here and sees a dumpster that's an opportunist. And I've had people dump their entire remodel job in our dumpster, like literally show up and just dump it while we're gone. But we are going to get a camera set out here, but I mean, it gets really complicated. It really does. Especially with the logistics on this, because we really couldn't ram a dumpster in the driveway because the curve's too big. We got this tree in the way, and we don't want to get on the neighbor's property and tear their property up because their grass looks really nice. You can tell they keep up with their house, they keep up with their grass, so we don't want to do anything to them. So basically what we're probably going to end up doing is sticking a dumpster here, or just jamming it up in here, hugging this side, and then trying to cause the least damage as possible. Let's see, that's kind of it on the front out here. I don't think we're really going to have any other. Oh yeah, and I think I might put my sign like right there, you know, kind of situated here. Depends on the dumpster, or maybe over here. There's a lot of traffic over here. We want to start doing more remodels, so I feel like I need to put a sign up, you know. So basically on the outside of the fence, like the street part of the build, we're really not going to have any issues other than maybe parking people in the street, the dumpster, and a couple more nuances. And then now basically I'm just going to give a walk around the home and maybe a little bit of the yard, of the scope. We might not go inside the house today depending on how long this takes. It might take a minute because there is a lot to look at on the outside of this house. You know, it is from 1929, so there's a lot of wear and tear, a lot of stuff we're changing. Let's walk around it. Alright, so one of the first things I noticed was like this front porch kind of falling downhill. This is I need to put a level on it, because I'm pretty sure if you put a level on that, this is sagging this way, this is leaning that way, and I think the front part is leaning that way too. So it's telling me that the footing's probably not deep enough right here. You know, I was thinking that it had something to do with maybe this here, but that would cause it to raise up, not this to dip down. So for that to be breaking off and this to be falling that way and this to be falling this way, I'm gonna have to say that there's a lot of weight right here, and something's up with the footing, you know. Same with, there's like a crack right there, you know what I mean, like, and it's split across this whole thing. It's got a crack, and then it's separating right here at this connection right here. So you got it separating here, this is all separating along here, and it's like separating there. This is like falling this way for sure, and that's falling that way, and like you can even see if you look at this, it's kind of leaning this way. So I'm sure that has to do with the footing. And here's another sign. So you got a split crack, you know, separating here, cracking all the way down here. The crack continues right here, kind of stops, like this is dipping back this way. I see another crack here indicating that this is all falling back that way, and then we have the front top step has a big crack on the top of it that's indicating that step. And then we also have this front is also breaking and dipping back this way, and that's all part of that right here. So this is where this is like leaning back, and you can, I mean, it's pretty obvious that there's something up right here, you know. And it could be this, you know, I bet this also may have something, I'm not sure, but I think that is the main sewer line coming out. And I mean, they could have easily interrupted that, you know, that could be enough to where over time that causes it to just break right here, because really there's nowhere else on this entire home that has any well, I'll take that back. This corner is separating some right here, but that still could be part, well, I don't know, it's not really separating anywhere else over here. It's just all along the front of the house is where you have settling at, and mainly all right here to right there, like this whole little area. I mean, obviously this is still intact. It broke. You can see where it's falling this way because there's no weight right here. I mean, these are like, this is the best one. It looks like it's just completely level, and all this is kind of tapering with the home. I mean, in reality, you want it to pitch. If you're going to build this new, you would pitch the water this way, the watershed, so you'd have, because you don't want the water to shed back through your home. You know, this is a pier and beam home. You'd want the water to shed this way. And if you look here, you can see like from here over, there's a stain. Yeah, that is from the soffit. You know, we got a 3-foot soffit, and then there's a gutter here too. So that's telling me the gutter is catching the water here, and here's the end of the gutter right there, like it's dropping it right here above me. But that's showing that all the way from the stairs where the rain's dropping right here, it's just all falling back this way and just puddling up. I bet you in a hard pour, it puddles up right here, because if you can see, you got this giant, like you can see where the grass is up. You need to skin that back some. You got a lot, but that's probably the dirt's just higher right here than it is right here, because that's where everything piles up at. So all this rain's just picking up the little bit of dirt that's here, I'm sure, and then just moving it all right here and piling up and building like a berm right here. Because you can see, like, this is a lot lower, this is lower, so get you lower. Like, they even got a piece of metal right here trying to prevent the water. I'm guarantee you that that's, well, maybe not, maybe so, I don't know. It's like this corner right here, like that. This is just, I promise you, water gets to right here. Like, you can see the water line. Like, if you look at the house, there's a water line from here to here. So it starts right here. Everything's in like 4 to 5 inches, and it sits right here. I promise you it does. So now we're gonna have to figure out. We need to take that dirt out and need to get it to where it's like it has a flow. Because right now it's built up so high right there. This all is actually. There's really no relief out of here other than right here, but then you really have a minor incline right here, so it's poor. We're gonna figure this out though, but that's definitely what's going on here if you look at it from the way we just looked at it, you know. Super interesting. I'm sure we're gonna get rid of these, I don't know, maybe not, they kind of cut them back, but I feel like they're getting too close to the home. My recommendation would be to get rid of these, but you know, homeowners tend to love their plants, so we'll see what their opinion is on. I'm sure it's the same opinion, but yeah, like, you see how all this, like, look how brittle that is. Like, you can get it with your finger. Like, let's look at this one. You can literally rub it with your finger, rub it out with your finger. That's just from the sun beating down on this part. Like, the front is a lot worse than the back, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with the afternoon sun is always the most harsh, and it's just baking this and causing it to patina prematurely. I gotta answer this phone call. All right, so I'm back checking it out. Yeah, so you can see, like, right here, you can see where you can just rub it and knock the mortar out. This all needs to be retucked. And here's another, I think this is where the porch starts to fall. So it's like falls twice. So it breaks here, and it's like this side of the porch is falling this way, and then it breaks there on this side here and falls that way. So this is like the tipping point basically right here, where it falls this way, falls that way, breaks here, and falling back that way. And this is actually standing pretty strong, it looks like. Yeah, the porch just gave him hell. But yeah, we're just gonna retuck all this, retuck all the brick. I don't think we're gonna address the house is settled, you know, it's not going anywhere else, and it's settled in a manner that it didn't really cause any structural problems with the home, other than, like, you know, it's a little wonky looking right here. But to the naked eye, to the average person, they're never gonna, once we retuck all these brick, nobody's gonna notice. I say nobody's gonna notice. I'm gonna notice, and I'm sure you are if you watch this video. But nobody's really gonna notice the front porch, the way it's gonna settle in some. It's so minor, but you can see it all needs to be retucked. Like, it gets even, basically the splash, like the top's not so bad, you know, you do have this like minor overhang right here, you know, that's enough of like 3 to 4 inches to give you enough protection and protect you to about right here. Here, even though you do have a 3-foot overhang, you're still gonna have splash. And so basically up until like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to your 6th brick around the whole, probably the whole house, I'm assuming, but definitely the front for sure, it needs to be retucked. That is speeded up by the water splashing up on it. Then also the afternoon sun beaming on it is just a perfect storm to ruin your mortar. The bricks seem to be doing fine though, but they also have been protected with the paint, because a lot of times, I think I saw one over here, you'll have it where, yeah, here it is. So once this starts to happen right here, once this is now, we're gonna have problems throughout the rest of its life, because when it gets cold, the water, we need to get this sealed up ASAP, because, well, I mean, it's still summertime, but basically all this, the water's gonna get inside of this, freeze, cause it to expand, and throughout the day when the sun comes out, it melts away, because, you know, we do live in Louisiana, so it's like back and forth, and it's gonna cause that to break out and the base to break off of it. So we need to address all of those for sure. And then basically, you know, you got all this millwork and all this woodwork needs to be redone, and we're not sure if we're going to go back with a synthetic. I'm not sure if you can get these profiles in a synthetic. That's the catch. You know, we might have to use original wood, because the homeowners love the fact of the profiles. You know, this profile is from 1929. This you know, assembly, they like this assembly, they like all this, like how it just added, you know, there's just a lot of depth to it and layers. You know, these are all pieces shot onto this. You can't really, you have to like, well, I don't know, this is one piece. I don't know, this is, I can't tell if that's separating from just weather. This looks like 2 pieces right here, so that's pretty cool. And they want all that redone, and you see how it's like, it's all kind of alligator skinning, like. So basically what I understand from this is somebody sanded this entire house. Like if you look from here, like where you can reach at, it's all been kind of sanded throughout the years, and everything above that is like still that alligator skin. So, I mean, I understand that, but like literally around the whole house, they only sanded up to like right here when they repainted, and the rest is just really horrible. Same with, look at this bead. I don't know if you can see that from here, but the bead board has just years and years and years and years of layer that you almost are losing the bead. You can still see the the connections where, you know, they snap together, but the bead in between them is basically almost gone. Like, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, and they want all this detail built back, and you can see like how like it has like a hip right here, like it like indents out, like, and it's very detailed, and they want all this detail back into it, like all the pitches, everything. It's got a 1x8 fascia board. They want just every detail back to the way it was. And no, we do have some signs of separation back here, very minor though. It only goes to about right up in there, but it's cracking here. It looks like it's kind of bending in, like it's meat, they're both kind of pinched. Very interesting. And they want all these redone, all the posts. We're basically going to redo the whole outside of the home. We're on the back side over here that got really patinaed. This got, the weather really got us over here. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. We're fully canopied. I mean, we got oak trees. I mean, this is all, I don't see a pine tree, so this is all hardwood. I mean, you got some, I'm not sure, I forget, there's like a Japanese something, myrtle, I don't know what that is. It's some kind of decorative tree. Definitely not part of the neighborhood. That's part of the neighborhood. That looks like it's planted. That's, you know, these have been here since, well, they probably planted those too, I'm sure they planted all of this, but these are pretty old. You got this full canopy all the way over here that's causing this to prematurely patina. You can see like it gets 0 sunlight. There's no grass over here. You got, like, look, check it out. You got moss. Like, this is the most moss I've ever seen. Like, look at it. It's like lush and pretty. Like, so the moss starts right here. As soon as the canopy starts, you got all this moss. I said moss like 30 times. But same with this chimney. We're gonna have to reflash the chimney. The chimney has definitely been rotting because of the fact that there's like, somebody put metal siding right there. You can't tell it maybe on the camera, but that's some metal siding that they painted the color of the house. So all this, I mean, you can see where the wood is bubbling there. So that connection was leaking for sure. Like, you can see where, I can't really see it, but the roof, I'm sure, is flashed wrong. Nobody addressed it. I bet it's still leaking. and we're gonna reflash that. We're ripping the whole soffit off the house. The whole soffit's coming off. We're gonna build it back completely with beadboard, put a new fascia on it, fix all the rot. So we'll address all that, put that crown molding trim detail back. The freeze board, it looks like it's in good tack. We'll probably keep it the same, and then we'll change this out, put some real siding there, and then deal with this this craziness of what's going on right here. I'm pretty sure that this unit here is abandoned. I mean, at least it better be, because there's no top on it. And this is gonna be our unit here, and it looks like it's older than I am. You know, I'm 34, and I'm sure this unit's probably close to my age or older. And so this is the abandoned one. I'm sure they kept it's got its whip all the way to it. Inside the attic there, when I went up there, there's an abandoned unit. I'm sure it's connected to this one. And we're just gonna fix all that, because like you can see, I mean, look, there's like, a rat could easily fit through there. Like, I've seen rats so many times, they use this as like a highway. Well, not particularly this, it'd be more like this would be a vine, but this is the same thing as a vine. And they run up this right here, and like, look, I mean, you could see there's like some scratches there. It looks like, I bet you they're already using this. Like, you can see, look at that. And look how it's going up it. And you see how this one here is like in good shape? I bet you they're running up this, like pulling their way up this, and you can see where they're transitioning to that. I mean, that's how they do it. And they'll go climb up there, squeeze through that hole, and now they're in your attic. And now you got literally rats living in your house with you. That's the downside of these old homes, because you have to, they weren't made with air conditioners. So somebody literally had to retrofit this unit and make this connection happen like this, because, you know, this is unnatural. Like they went through, I mean, you know, the house wasn't intended to have air conditioner. So this is a new puncture here, and it was done very untastefully, in a manner that you're gonna let, you know, wildlife into your attic, like squirrels, all kind of stuff. So we're definitely gonna address that. You can see here, like, it's just like, look at down here, you know what I mean? Like the brick, these all need to be repointed. This is the same to do with that. Even though we do have a soffit over here, it still gets blowing rain, it still splashes up. So here we're up like at least 6 to 7 bricks still. All needs to be repointed. The top looks great. You got a little jank here. I mean, we can't do nothing about this, but this has got like all kind of grooviness to it, and that's just the character of an old home. And then we're gonna reglaze all these windows. They're all need to be reglazed. They've seen better days. I'm sure we're gonna redo this fence, but this is just easy access. It looks like a little trail, but I mean, well, this back corner is not as bad as this side over here. I don't know, I guess the wind didn't, I mean, the rain didn't really blow in too hard, but I would say this tree's got to go. I mean, I would cut all this back. You really need to honestly get with your neighbor, and you need to cut all this back, because this tree is aging this home. It's causing just all kind of mildew. I mean, it's bad. You need to, but also, I guess in the South, you know, it is keeping the house cool, but what are you willing to take? You know, these need to go, these need to go. See kind of how this line was cleaned at once, and now you got, like, you can see where the power company's trimming the lines to keep it off their line, you know, their line. They'll do that, but we need to trim, like, we need to get an arbor. Oh, I say we need to. I'm gonna recommend this. They probably will, they maybe won't. I mean, who knows? But I would, if I lived here, I would get rid of, just skin that tree back all the way, because look at it. I mean, you're introducing just everything, like bugs. I mean, just look at that. Like, it's literally the way that it's connecting to right there. Like, it's just a highway system for bugs and wildlife to get introduced onto your home, into your home prematurely. I mean, you name it. And it's also causing it to mildew faster. When it rains, it's just washing you can see it just growing just green all along the side. Not good. This side seems to be in pretty decent shape. Basically, I guess it's cracking on every corner, but it's not major. It's not causing, I mean, this happened like buku years ago. And we are having, let's see. Yeah, all right, so this is pitching water back this way. It's high over here, low over here. I'm guarantee you it's pulling up water all up in here. I mean, all this needs to be regraded. We need to take the water flow, have it shed out this way, because right now it looks like the neighbor's shedding water over here. Like, he's got a high spot all the way over there, and it's literally throwing water to right here. But what's helping him out is this tree has caused this to raise up a little bit, so it's building a little channel right here, like where the dirt's kind of mounding up. So now you got a little channel that's coming through here that's helping some relief, but this is no good because it's pulling up right here in the back. So in the back you can see where it's just like there's a hole over there. You might not be able to tell here, but there's literally a hole right there, and I promise you the water is piling up like this deep right here. You can see like right in there where it kind of back here, like it falls right here. The water line. The whole house needs to be regraded, and we need to around it. I mean, and we need to take the water and direct it in a different way, because right now all the water is flowing here and then channeling out through here through this little channel, and it looks like it's kind of piling up right here because it's getting too tall over there. There's a lot of trees causing the buildup, and well, at least it's not flowing under the porch because they got a crown right here, so it's just sitting right here for the most part. I mean, it is still going to drain out, but in a big heavy shed, it's going to set. All right, so now we're at the back, and basically this whole porch addition is causing a leak. So you can see where the connection is right here, and the transition from the bead to just like the plywood panel board. And this seam here is not as bad. Like, it's not dripping, it's not leaking right here. This was good right here. But as you cross up on here, so basically everywhere they did a puncture, like here's where the water heater, the gas water heater is venting out right here. You can see it's obviously it's rotten. I mean, there's a water penetration point. It's pretty bad, but right here it gets a lot worse. So here is where the leak was at. So here you can see this seam right here. There's like a this is where they attached the porch, and it is terrible. You can see literally where the water was dripping out of here. This is all bubbled up, all this plywood here. Same with this connection here. This whole connection is leaking, and then it caused this porch to leak, I'm pretty sure, because look, this is new wood, that's new wood, that's new wood. I mean, you can see where it was dripping right here, and it rotted the porch out. And just, I guess, I'm assuming just nobody took the time to deal with it, whether it be like the people who owned this before them or before them, whether it be financial, just being lazy, or just not caring. And it just caused a lot of problems that we're gonna have to deal with now. And then watch, when you step out, it gets really interesting. Like, at least they put a gutter right there over your head. They cared about that. But look at that. I mean, look, it's like sinking in. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it is so rotten right there. Like, literally the shingle is like falling in like 8 inches right there. It's like a coal. It's insane. Like, that's just how rotten that is. So that's telling me that those joists are, I mean, those rafters are rotten. You know, that's a rotten, I'm sure when we pop that off, and you can see where they seamed it back up, they thought, man, this is some jank stuff. But basically we're gonna rip this whole porch off at that seam right there, rebuild this porch back because they love the porch, keep it tied in. But then we're gonna take the beadboard. Actually, we're getting that's still part of the soffit that's coming down. That 3 foot right there is going to be demoed with this, with the soffit, so that way when we put the beadboard back here, it'll transition all the way down. So we'll have the beadboard go all the way down. We're thinking about, so these are like real thin, dainty posts that aren't from this era. Like, it needs to be a lot more beefier, but they built the beam, so the beam needs to be fatter. You know, we need to have a bigger post. You know, it's just the same. This isn't proper for the era. We could build it back this way. I recommend we build it back more towards that time, give it a little bit more flavor, but it'll have a bigger beam, bigger post. The beadboard will transition all the way to here, boom, blam, and then beadboard transition over here, give you a nice overhang. It'll look A1, it won't be rotten, you won't have all this, it'll be pretty. It's just, it's pretty wild. Same with this, this is wild right here, this chimney. So it's abandoned. On the inside, there's cabinets right there. We're not really sure if they just walled it up, broke it. I mean, we're gonna figure that out whenever we go inside. But they kept it on here, like they kept the chimney. They boxed it in on top. Whenever they re-roofed, it's completely gone. It just has this indention right here. So super interesting. And then we started the paint process on the outside. So you look, you see how smooth this is? Like, that's smooth. We're gonna, basically we found this tool that has diamond grinders on it. We put it on a grinder and it grinds it down, because we could sand it. When we were sanding it, it would take, it just, the first the first layer of paint is super soft, you know, it's brand new, but there's like 4 or 5 layers. When we got to the last layer, it's like this khaki, and that might be the original paint layer, because it's just so hard that, you know, you're not getting anything done. It's basically like this, like you sand and sand and sand, and you get like, I mean, it's smooth, but you still have this alligator hide to it, and that's not, I mean, that's the biggest problem people have with doing these old homes, is it takes too long to get the paint back down, so they just kind of just half-ass it and do this right here and then paint it back, and then it looks jank. So we're gonna take it back to that. And then I found this, we found this other tool. It's like a flap wheel that has like 80 grit sandpaper. So we'll flap wheel in between, you know, the paneling, and we'll get all that cleaned up, and then we're gonna reprime this thing, and then get it repainted, and it will look butt slick smooth like it's supposed to look. And we're gonna, I bet so far this has only been, this is like 2 full days of sanding, and we've done this side right here, we've experimented on this back, and then we did the side over there. Maybe like 1 full day and a half day of sanding is what this has got us. But we got a technique, we got it figured out, what we what's gonna work for us. So right here, they're thinking about taking the front door, which is like 7.5 feet wide, and putting it right here inside, or right here. You know, this is the back porch, but it enters into the kitchen. But what the homeowner's undecided about is that if we put a 7.5 foot door right here, it's going to take away from her kitchen cabinets. So they're still in the air on that, but there's a good chance we're going to do that here. This electrical service, like the panel, this is, I mean, the panel, the Clico box, you know, the meter. All right, the meter, the meter is going to move. We can't do this here. This is like, this was done, this is not right, this is against code, this is all going to get moved. Same with on the other side of here, is the surface is like right up inside this wall here with the water heater, all that's getting relocated. And we got these jank spots here we're going to address, and we're going to address all this. We just completely resanding everything, and this is just a slow process. We got, let's see, how does this, oh, this is like, well, at least they kind of did this right. When you stand right here, everything's sloping that way, but it's got a major slope. I'm sure that has something to do with whenever this was rotted under here. I gotta look at that a little bit more in detail. We got another one of those little skinny posts. All that's gonna get addressed. And let's go to this side over here. Let's step back. Yeah, so like, check this out. So like, this is like some kind of railroad like piece. Like, you get this giant bolt. Like, whoever built this porch had some connections, and they just kind of set it in here like that and made it happen. Pretty cool. All right, so all that's getting sanded. This side, we don't have any, there's no signs of the brick. Well, up a lot. We got a little crack there, but I mean, it's real minor. Like, when you walk around the house, it has, unless they address the issue inside, but I don't think it really settled at all, like just around the perimeter. And I mean, it's pretty cool, little Craftsman bungalow looking thing, but it's technically a Craftsman. Here's a back porch vantage point. It looks, see, so that's where you can see where they're venting. You see the little stack there, that's where they're venting out the water heater. It's, I mean, it's, I wouldn't be surprised if 60% of the punctures are leaking. We know for sure that fireplace is leaking. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't really tell from here, but it is flashed insane. Looks like a kindergartner flashed it and went insane with all the, I bet you they just said seal it up. They, I mean, they use context clues, and sometimes you got to go deeper than that. You know, you think that that's the way to do it. In reality, you got to take it a little bit further. And we're gonna eventually re-roof the whole house, but it looks like the house had a new roof at some point, because the shingles are still in pretty good shape. Other than, you can see where, I don't know if you can see the color change, but these are much lighter, and it gets super dark over here, and that's that patina I'm talking about, where this oak tree, like on this side here, it's like a brown now, when this looks like a weathered wood shingle is the name of this, and it's like a grayish black tone, but over here it's completely transitioned to like a rust, and that is from this tree right here. This oak tree is just like giving it, just shortening its life. You can see where it's pulling up. I mean, we need to really get on that roof and walk around, because that tree is causing some major damage. And oh yeah, you can see more of this porch. You can see where the Crisso looks like. It's literally leaking Crisso out of the front of the porch. We're gonna address all this. I'm sure this is all done wrong. The steps are rotten. No big deal, easy fix. And then we're gonna make our way. I'm not sure if this is probably gonna come out, and back to that driveway. You can see where it's just like that lip. It's just not, it's not wide enough. And then we have this gas right here. Like, we got to do something about the gas. It's in the way. They want to widen this a little bit as much as they can, and I think put a brick border down the side. So that means that we're gonna have to get in touch with the city and get this gas line relocated so we can get all this work done. I'm sure we're gonna address this. Right now we got like a piece of quartz just blocking our way in through our iron fence, and then we are going to get rid of, I don't know if we're going to redo this or I think we're going to redo this for the most part and keep this shed here. They're talking about putting a mother-in-law suite back here, like building a whole nother property. But the painter, one of the painters that was on this job did this, sanded this home and repainted it 30 years ago when his kid was being born. He told me that's why he remembers it, and it's been 30 years, and he said there was a pool back here. He said he went swimming in it, and you can kind of see it's settling right here, but you can see the pool, all the pipes right here for the pool. Like, it was all back here, so that's going to be a problem if they want to build a structure right here, because of the fact that I know this dirt wasn't packed back properly. So they probably just filled it in, even though it's like, it looks good, but you can see if you look from here to here, like it's high here, then it settles here, and it sits in the middle, and it kind of tapers, it all tapers to right here, showing that it's settled. And it's, even though that it's probably been filled in for 20 years, I wouldn't put, you know, all that weight on here and expect everything to be fine. You know, I would definitely, we need to get a, I don't know how you would do this, because you have no space right here. You almost can't do it. You need to get it drilled, but I don't know if you could even get a truck back here to drill this to let me know if this is packed right. Like, we do a compaction test, but that's after the fact. You can't really, that's once you build the pad. But in order to know if the pad can really stand the weight before you build the pad, you really need to come out and they do like a core sample where they drill, pull it out, and they let us know all the sediment that's in that sample, how packed, you know, what is the properties are made of, blah 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 blah. Then the scientist will tell us that, hey, you can put this weight here, you can't. But man, I don't know how you would pull that out of here. And I mean, look at the opening. You'd have to almost demolish in this building in order to get this dirt if it was wrong, you know. Like, if you couldn't withstand the weight, man, this would be a tricky. You'd really have to love this property to spend this kind of investment back here, because I don't, but who knows? I mean, I don't know. I need to do some more research on this. And all this looks like it's rotting. Like, you can see where the splash just killed it over the years. This is all sagging. Basically, I bet you the whole exterior of this building is rotten from, like, I don't know, 3.5 feet down. Like, it's killed, it looks like. I see somebody's been composting. Yeah. No love back here. I guess that's the original color. I mean, look at that. This all needs to be cut back. Honestly, I would get rid of all these trees. They're just problems. And you gotta weed eat around them. You gotta pick up after them. I mean, they're like having children. If you really care about your property, like, it takes a lot of upkeep, and I don't have the time, and I don't want to spend the money to pay somebody to upkeep this. Because, like, that's a saying that we always say, if you love a garden or you love a pool, you either got to have a lot of money to spend on maintenance for it, or you got to love labor and love getting after it, because it's going to take a lot of upkeep. So that's just a quick tip on that. I promise you, if you own either one of those, you know what I'm talking about. Ooh, this is pretty cool. So yeah, all this is gonna get addressed. This is just like the wildest stuff. Super, super, super jank. But we'll address all this. We'll see. This is not our main priority. The homeowners got us assigned to the house here to basically redo the whole thing. This is they're telling us about this, but this ain't gonna be our priority. I'm gonna make sure we pick this up afterwards if they want to address it. We're not gonna do them both at the same time. Well, maybe we could, I guess, for speed's sake, but I mean, look how scary it looks down there. I mean, I'm super allergic to poison ivy. cool. Look how rotten that is. All right, we gotta take a look at that. Yo, I think that's poison ivy. Yeah, stay away. All right, look at that. Yo, super rot. I mean, nobody cared all the way, and that's, I mean, it's just like, that's bad. You need to clean all this up. It's like fusing. It's just, it's causing it to just prematurely rot patina more than you need to. I mean, oh, look at that old siding there. That's pretty cool. But look at it. It's got a, it's all swollen, man. Definitely have to address that. All right, so we're gonna make our way around the house, and let's see. This is the gas meter. We're gonna have to relocate, and we need to relocate this water too, if that's really what they want to do, because it's like this jam up in the way. I mean, you have, especially if they want to make this any bigger than they got, because I'm pretty sure the property line is like right here. I mean, I'm standing in the neighbor's property, so they don't have much space. So we're definitely gonna have to go through that process. All right, so here you can see where we're gonna reset a lot of these nails. We got this board looking smooth. We'll take the flapper and get in there. This is actually not too bad. Some of it's in pretty good shape. We'll still flap it. Like here you got like these raised, like look at all this. We're gonna have to find a tool to clean all that out. And we're gonna get it right. And you can see right here where one of our guys, we found a spot where the wood's a little damaged. So what we'll do there is, pretty sure this is the tool that did most of it. We'll skim it with some platinum patch and then sand it back, and it'll be butt smooth. So we'll do that with any part of the wood that has like a lot of like unevenness to it. We'll float it, sand it, look brand new. But for the most part, the boards are doing well. Like they're sanding super smooth. So here, this used to be a window right here, and we're gonna keep the casing on it, but we're gonna put faux shutters on the inside of it, because there's two different sidings here. So here's like the original type siding, which is like 7 1/8, and this is like 6 1/2 or something like that. It's completely two different sizes. You can see it, like it doesn't match up. The homeowners want it addressed. Let's see, we don't really have too many signs of settling down here. I can never say that word right. Settling. I mean, we need a repoint. It's the same thing. We got the splash all the way up to like 6 bricks that need to be repointed. Maybe some over here needs to be repointed, because like here's where the air conditioner overflow is. They have it just like, you can see the two pipes are just, the water is just falling out of there. Like literally the water is just falling out of here. I mean, that's insane. So we're gonna get that fixed. We're gonna fix the emergency overflow for the air conditioner. We're gonna get rid of that and move it like just better. That's horrible. And that was the puncture we made right here. This was we set some scaffolding up. We didn't really know what we were dealing with on the fascia and the soffit and all that, so we wanted to just take a piece off. We took a piece off, and it's really not rotten up there. Just basically just the outside fascia board is really rotten. On the inside, like the joists aren't rotten, just some of the beadboard is, and it's like basically where like some of the seams are at. Like a lot of them, I don't know, maybe there is some rot up there. We could, you know, there's gonna be rot, but not major rot. Like we're just gonna address some of the rafters that are no good, you know, and it's just it's gonna be a pain. All right, and then let's see, over here in this corner, how is the water looking? It's the same thing. The water is piling up right here. You got this like look at that. Like everything's high, and the center is low. So you got this trail right here where water is just like piling up and just puddles up right here. And this is still part of that. You can see where the front's, you know, it just flows up right here. It reliefs out some of this way. I guarantee you can see where, look at all the, like that's sediment from the wash. So it's piling up here. It's got nowhere to go. It's just piling up here, and you got these lips. I mean, just nobody really, I noticed back in the day, nobody thought about watershed, or they didn't care about watershed. I don't know, it's wild how people didn't really consider that in their builds whenever they built building a house. It seems like that'd be common sense to keep the water away from your home. Let's look back here. Yeah, same thing back here, but this is easy fix though. A lot of this stuff is just from over time not really doing the right maintenance. You can see where the dirt is built up right here where the relief is, and that's common sense. You know how that works. That's when it brings sediment with it, it leaves some of it behind, and it builds up over time. So really what we need to do here is we need to regrade all this and build the flow out this way. You know, simple stuff, but a lot of labor. You know, think about moving the earth. That's the hardest thing you can do, is move the earth and move it with shovels, you know. So it's easy fix, but it could be relatively expensive because of the pure labor that has to go into it. You could do this as like a homeowner by just like, whenever it rains, just study, look at how your house flows, see what's causing the water to stop, and then address it. You know, you could even take some spray paint where the water's holding, and come back and start shoveling, pulling the high spot. I mean, just look at it. It's super simple. Like, you'll be able to figure it out. And now we're back at the front, and so that's basically the whole walkthrough of the outside of the house and what we're gonna do to it. We're gonna just basically go through, redo all the wood on the outside, anything rotten, completely redo the fascia and soffit, rip it out, redo it, completely repaint everything on the front of the house, from the brick to the wood. We're gonna resand all that. We've already pressure washed the whole house. I should have started with that. We used some like house detergent, sprayed the house, cleaned it, got it prepped for us to get in here, and we're probably thinking it's gonna take like maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks to fully get the house completely sanded, prepped, puttied, caulked, you know, all that good stuff, and then get it primed. And then we're gonna hold off before we paint it and regroup. But that's basically the walkthrough on the outside of this 1929 historic home. Let's get back a little bit. Yeah. So, bam, there you go. Oh yeah, so this is the front door that they're thinking about taking out. Or either way, we gotta take it out because this is gonna be part of the remodel. So we're gonna take this out regardless and have a wall right here. This is gonna be our new entryway, and that's basically gonna be a closet now once we fix some walls on the inside of that. But it's a pretty big door. It's 7.5 feet wide, but it's got some cool details. It's got like these arts and craft era details that are appropriate to the time frame. So that's pretty cool. I like the thin little header on top of it. It's got a lot of character to it. This one we're keeping. It's pretty much a clone, other than the casing's a lot fatter on the outside. I also believe that, I think the homeowners said that we're gonna repaint this top right here. So right now they have like this concrete paint on it, and we're just gonna get another type of concrete paint that matches her color scheme, and we're gonna paint this here when we finish it, probably to like they did here to the step, make it look cool, retuck everything, work our way out of here.